And we know that President Trump, of course, loves the pomp and the pageantry. His mother is Scottish. He has an affiliation with the British Isles. He loves the royal family. He describes King Charles as his friend. This is something he wanted to accept. There was a commentator earlier saying that, well, the United Kingdom is lucky to have the president coming for a visit. Well, let's just remember here, this isn't President Trump coming to the United Kingdom to greet the Prime Minister Starmer. He's coming here because he wants to greet and spend time with His Majesty King Charles III, the son of Queen Elizabeth II, who President Trump had such respect for during his first state visit and did throughout her reign. And on the day the Queen died, President Trump was live here on GB News telling us about the memories he had of the late Queen Elizabeth. And later on today, President Trump will be visiting Her late Majesty's grave inside St George's Chapel with the First Lady, Melania Trump. And it is something we think that President Trump really wanted to do. It's incredibly poignant, Tom.
Really, really is so. Well, Cameron Walker, thank you for that. I should say, as you were speaking, we did see that second helicopter land. For security reasons, Marine One never travels alone. Always a pair of identical helicopters, so no one can tell which one the President of the United States is in. But it does appear that the second to land may well be the helicopter carrying President Trump as he arrives here in Windsor for the start of this unprecedented second state visit.
Well, we'll find out now because the steps are being pulled down. And I'll tell you that this is one of the most incredible pair of helicopters that you'll ever see, because they it's fitted with so many things: ballistic armour, radar jamming, flares for heat-seeking missiles. It also is designed so that it will withstand a nuclear bomb. That's what it's saying there. Anti-missile countermeasures, lots of different things in this helicopter. It is the most advanced ever.
And it is extraordinary to see. This is the same helicopter, of course, that the President has taken so many times from the South Lawn of the White House. He's very used to getting into Marine One, takes him to Joint Base Andrews, flies him all over the world. And yet, for it to land, and here we see the United States President, Donald Trump, Melania, his wife behind him, a salute there to Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge, rather the Princess of Wales as well there. We are seeing the greeting of this pair of pairs.
I wonder if he'll have to curtsy when he sees the Queen.
Well, it is interesting to note he's not wearing his signature red tie, but a purple affair. A purple hat from Melania as well. Cameron Walker, inside the grounds there. What more can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that the Princess of Wales is wearing Amelia Wickstead dress, hats by Jane Taylor, and a feather brooch. And of course, this is unprecedented, isn't it? These are historic pictures. The future King of the United Kingdom, Prince William, in conversation there with President Trump, and the Princess of Wales, of course, taking on a very diplomatic role. Of course, she's had a tricky year, hasn't she? And we just hear now the gun salutes being fired in Windsor Great Park, as the King and President Trump shake each other's hands, just blocked unfortunately by Prince William, the Prince of Wales. But this is historic. This is the moment, of course, that His Majesty the King is greeting the President of the United States for an unprecedented second state visit. The Queen, of course, there as well, following her recovery from sinusitis. And this is the, let's say, informal mingling ahead of the formal carriage procession, which will be taking place very shortly. As the President has shaken hands with the King, the British Army is firing gun salutes of 41 rounds from 6 First World War era guns on the east lawn of Windsor Castle. That's the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery doing that. This is the President and the First Lady greeting the principal private secretaries of the King and Queen, Sir Clive Alderton and Sophie Densham. So they're basically the King and Queen's right-hand man and women who advise them on constitutional matters and are the bridge between the British government and the royal household. So they are with them pretty much all day, every day, the King and Queen, their personal staff there. The President, as I said, is going to be treated treated to a carriage ride in the next couple of minutes, and the Honourable Artillery Company in central London right now is firing gun salutes at the Tower of London. The Princess of Wales there just talking to Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, and tomorrow they're going to be taking part in an engagement together with the Scouts within Windsor Great Park. The Princess of Wales is joint president of the Scouting Association here within the United Kingdom. Both Melania Trump and the Princess of Wales really value time spent with young children and getting them out and about in nature. The Queen is also going to be taking part in a separate engagement with Melania Trump. This is when, of course, the President of the United States will be at checkers with the Prime Minister, taking part in those tough political negotiations. Now, this carriage that you're seeing on your screen now, this is the Irish state coach, and that is what the King and President Trump will be travelling in through Windsor Great Park and then up through George IV Gate in the upper ward of Windsor Castle into the quadrangle, which is where that guard of honour has been assembled for President Trump to inspect. And it is the carriage procession that is going to be moving off as the US and British national anthems will play very shortly, and a sovereign's escort of the household cavalry is mounted at the start of that processional route, and the route is going to be lined by armed forces personnel all the way from the walled garden that you're seeing on your screens now, right up until George IV Gate within the main perimeter bit of Windsor Castle in the upper ward. That's about a 15-minute carriage ride away, which is why we're seeing so many British Armed Forces personnel taking part. As I was saying, 1,300 soldiers, around 130 odd horses taking part in this procession. You can just about make out the King through the window of the Irish state coach here ahead of this procession, and the processional route is lined by 22 half companies of personnel from throughout the Royal Navy, the Royal Marines, the British Army, and the Royal Air Force as well. It is the lifeguards with the red tunics and the helmets, and the Blues and Royals with their blue tunics and red plumes within their helmets, who are going to be escorting the President, the First Lady, the King and Queen, the Prince and Princess of Wales through the grounds of Windsor Great Park. It's 80 soldiers riding that you're seeing on your screens as part of that sovereign's escort as well. And of course, as I was saying earlier, Tom and Nana, it is not just the President and the First Lady. It's, I would say, about half of the US cabinet, the President Trump's cabinet, including the Secretary of State, where also the Treasury Secretary as well, and the Chief of Staff. So all of them being treated to a carriage ride, which clearly is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for American politicians.
Absolutely, the stuff of fairy tales.